In this video, we are going to discuss pulse code modulation, that is PCM. So what is sampling? Let us discuss this one, then we shall go for the pulse code modulation. If a signal f of t is sampled at regular intervals of time and a rate higher than twice the highest signal frequency, then the samples contain all the information of the original signal. So that means we know that in case of analog it is continuous, in case of digital it is discrete. So actually we are going to discuss our analog data digital signal. So obviously we are moving from a continuous domain to the discrete domain. So what we can do, we can take sample. That means after a regular time interval we can check what is the current value of the analog voltage. So in which rate I should check? That is a double than the rate of the maximum variation, maximum frequency of the analog signal. So that we can go for the respective sampling, and from this sampling we shall get the respective digital signal, and later at the receiving end we shall convert it to the analog data back again. So if a signal f of t is sampled at regular intervals of time and at a rate higher than twice the highest signal frequency, then the samples contain all the information of the original signal. The function f of t may be reconstructed from these samples by the use of low pass filter. So at the receiving end, from this sampled output we can reform the analog data back again. So now this is our analog data, let it be a voice. Digitizer will convert it to the corresponding digital data, and then analog that is ASK, analog signal, that is we are using some analog signal modulation technique. So one modulation, so let us suppose it is ASK, and then we are going to back our analog data back again. So digitizing analog data will have the following steps. Now let us discuss the PCM, that is the pulse code modulation. What will happen? You can see that there is one analog signal we are having. This is our analog data, rather not signal, analog data. And this particular analog data will be sampled at a regular time interval. So when we did the sample here, just look at this respective normalized magnitudes. So when we sampled here, then this analog value was 1.1. Okay, this is a PAM value, this is a 1.1. Then here this particular PAM value is 9.2. Then here this particular PAM value, you can consider that one, that is 15.2, then 10.8, then 5.6, 2.8, and then 2.7 and so on. In this way we have done the sampling at a regular time interval, and here the time interval is Ts, that is the time slice, and that is 1 by 2b. So now we are going for this quantized code number. So what will happen? From this respective voltages we are going to convert it to the nearest integer value. You can find that we have converted to the nearest integer value. So what is the maximum value here? 15. How many bits will be required to represent 15? 4 bits. How? Because 1111, if you consider 1 4 times, 1111, that is if you consider this one as binary, then it is representing 15. So that's why 15 is the maximum value, and you can represent 15 by 4 bits. So all these respective quantized code numbers are to be converted to the 4-bit form. So here we are having that is 0001. Why? Because it is 1, it is 9, so 1001, it is 15, 1111. In this way we did the rest. Then what will happen? We shall send this stream of bits through the media to the receiving end. So this is our pulse code modulation. So here we are going to take the frequencies, we are going to take the respective sampling after regular time interval, and this is our Ts, is the respective sampling time. So what are the steps we are having? At first we are having continuous time, continuous amplitude analog input signal. Then we are having, this is the PAM sampler, we are having discrete time continuous amplitude signal, that is the PAM pulses. Why we are considering is that continuous amplitude? Why? Because you can find that in the previous diagram also we got this one in the fractions, so it is continuous, but we are having the discrete observation. So that's why we can call it as discrete time continuous amplitude signal, that is PAM signals. And then quantizer will come into the scene, and we will be having discrete time discrete amplitude signal, that is our PCM pulses. Why we are considering this one as discrete time discrete amplitude? Because you can find that we are making them quantized, so they are discrete, they are Cannot be any value in between 9 and 10, either 9 or 10. So that's why the values are discrete in nature. And then we are having this encoder at the receiving end where the digital bit stream output signals will be there. And now this is our encoder. So this is a discrete time, discrete amplitude signal, that is a PCM signals, and then encoder will convert it to the digital bit stream. Now the receiving end will be that side. So now in this way we have converted this respective analog data to the digital signal. So that is our PCM. So in this video we have discussed that how this pulse code modulation PCM can work and what are the different phases and how does it operate.
Hello, our today's job is PCM, pulse code modulation and demodulation. PCM is used to convert analog signal to binary form. PCM today. We have trainer in our lab. This is our trainer having different sections. First of all, this is clock generator. Time control section. This is the signal generator. Two types of signals are there, AC signal and DC signal. This is A to D converter, parallel to serial converter, serial to parallel converter, buffer section, DAC, digital to analog converter, and the final stage is LPF, low pass filter. Now we will check the signals available on the board. First of all, switch on the board. Check AC signal. The first one is AC signal. This is 47 Hertz and the amplitude is 6.8 volt. In yellow color, this is my AC signal. DC signal, we are checking with the help of DC. Minus 5 volt. This is our DC signal. We measure the frequency of clock generator. Our clock generator frequency is 29.87 kilohertz. Amplitude is 6.2 volt. Clock generator to clock input section. We have connected this to the input of sampling control or timing control. This is the output of timing control section. Frequency is 1.870 kilohertz and amplitude is 6.9 volt. Now I am connecting analog signal to analog to digital converter and checking the output at parallel to serial converter. This is the output of parallel to serial converter. With the help of LEDs also we can see 8-bit data. On CRO we also measure these things. This is my clock and according to output data. Again I will convert the signal into analog passing through a serial to parallel converter and a buffer section. The agreed output we are checking on the CRO. This is the output of DAC. Now I have to pass this DAC with a LPF low pass filter. Here is my reconstructed output, which we are comparing with the original signal. In the second part of this practical, we will use DC voltage, which we can see here from our multimeter. I am applying here DC volt. And measuring here. This is my sampling frequency, and this is the output of serial converter. 8-bit data we can compare with the help of this sampling. This is the output of demodulation here, which we have done with the help of DC, and we can measure the DC again with the help of multimeter DMM, which we are using, that is 1.5 volt. This is the same as the input. In another we can see in this way also, as I vary the DC level with the help of MSB and LSB, I can see from here also.